What's up everyone, it's Mike from MikeGetsWorld, and today we're going to be doing some 4K 120Hz HDR settings on the Xbox Series X. I'm using Samsung TV right here, Q800T, or you can call it Q850T. It's a 8K model from Samsung and I recently got it. Unfortunately, there's no 8K resolution output on Xbox Series X, but we're going to be sticking to 4K 120 hertz. So I just wanted to go through some settings that I actually adapted for my own set. So I just wanted to make sure you guys can get some benefit out of it. So first of all, the main thing that people forget, if you want to get 4K 120 hertz HDR, you make sure that in LG TVs, it is called HDMI Ultra HD Deep Color. You have to enable that for the HDMI it is plugged in. I'll put the link in the description for my video where I have already taught how it is done, so you can follow that if you haven't enabled. I can show you in Samsung, so you can go to the settings and then you have to go down to general and then go to external device manager, because these are external devices connected to the HDMI, right? So you want to go there. Okay, first of all, I want to mention one thing. 4K 120 hertz, it's possible on HDMI 2.1. So make sure that you have the HDMI 2.1 TV. If you don't have HDMI 2.1 TV and it doesn't do 120 hertz 4K, you won't be able to do it. Like I have an older model for the LG OLED E6. That model doesn't do 120 hertz 4K. It doesn't do the auto low latency or the variable refresh rates either. So you have to make sure you have the latest TVs. Most of the 2020 TVs, the 4K TVs, are 120 hertz and they are capable of doing variable refresh rates and auto low latency mode. So right now I'm gonna go in the game mode settings and I want to make sure that it's set on auto. So it's gonna keep doing that auto switching. Whenever you're playing movies, it's gonna switch back from game mode, and whenever you're playing games, it's gonna get into game mode. So that's really good option the Samsung has here. So I will leave it on auto. And then you're gonna go down here to input signal plus. So as I said, in the LG TV, it is called Deep Color Ultra HD HDMI. This is like weird name. I don't know why they just don't keep it one name unanimous. Like it's different for LG, different for Sony, but it is called Ultra HD Deep Color HDMI. Man, it's really hard to memorize all of these different names for the same thing. But Samsung calls it input signal plus. So it's like extra signal that HDMI can give, which is like opening the bandwidth. So you're gonna have to go and make sure that is enabled. So I'm right now using HDMI 4, so I cannot change it because it's already on HDMI 4. But if it is not HDMI 4, it's like HDMI 3 is not used, I can change it. I can turn it off, turn it on. So I was using HDMI 3. There was my PC. It was RTX 3080 and 3090 that I was testing, 4K 120 Hz and 8K 60 Hz for the RTX 3090 for reference. So make sure that these things are checked. And in Sony, it is called the enhanced HDMI format. So make sure that enhanced HDMI format is enabled to get the 4K 120 Hz HDR. Okay, so once this is done, we're done with the TV settings. Now we're gonna go to the Xbox settings. So we'll jump into the settings and we're gonna go to the general and TV and display options. So this one is set to 60 Hz by default. Even though you set this TV using the setup process, which says that it's gonna choose the best settings for you, but still it sets it at 60 Hz. So first thing, you wanna make sure you change it to 120 Hz. Okay, we're gonna keep the settings and then we're gonna go to the video modes. In the video modes, you're gonna see that we have all of these options, right? So make sure all of these are checked. I don't use this one. It's I don't know what does it even do. I just keep it unchecked. I mean, it's by default unchecked. It's certain type of games which requires YCC 422 encoding. I don't know if I ever had any issues since using Xbox One X, so I don't really touch this option. But you really need allow variable refresh rate and auto low latency mode enabled. And then you will find these allow 4K, allow HDR10, and you will see another option which is auto HDR. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it off because I don't want it. It's SDR, it should be SDR. I don't want my SDR content to show up as HDR, so I just don't want that mimic to happen to my SDR content. So it is kind of option, you know, when you have in TV, you have a picture mode called the HDR picture mode. It's kind of like fake HDR, which is just the process HDR over the SDR. So if you want that, if you like that way, I mean, you can turn it on if you wish to, but I would like leave the content as is. So I just don't want that fabrication over the SDR content. So these are the settings that you can do for 4K 120Hz and HDR. And if you have LG OLED C9, C10, you can allow Dolby Vision, which will give you the Dolby Vision. But everything looks good, right? So now I'm gonna go and calibrate the HDR for games. You can first calibrate the TV and then you can calibrate the HDR for games. I've already done this calibrate TV in my other videos, so if you want to see, it's really self-explanatory, it's really easy to do it. Even this calibrate HDR is really easy to do, so you just click on it, it's going to show you a couple of pictures, and then you have to adjust accordingly. So the first one is that you can barely see those checkerboard. So if you see the checkerboard, it's clearly visible, that means that there's something wrong. So right now mine is like slightly visible, and that's how it should be. So just read the instructions and you should be fine. And then next, see the white screen is totally like invisible. That's how it should be, because it says that adjust the image until all the blocks have the same brightness. So you just play with these options, make sure your TV is calibrated, and it's going to show you this picture like how it was before calibration and how it is after calibration. So I can see, I don't know if my camera will record it, but on the right hand side, the uncalibrated image has kind of like a blown sky, like it's not the way it should be. The contrast is kind of a little off, but on the calibrated image it looks proper. So make sure you do all of these things, guys. Now let's look into the Dolby Atmos settings. And also you can go and do the Dolby Atmos. I've already done the Dolby Atmos settings, but I'll run through that again. It's just really simple. You have to go to the same menu right below the TV and display options. Go to the volume and audio output. Once you click on that, you're gonna see that this right here is actually stereo uncompressed by default. So you're gonna go and change it to the bit stream out. So once you do the bit stream, it can do certain different formats. It is DTS digital surround, Dolby digital, Dolby Atmos for home theater, DTS-X for home theater. So depending on what kind of movies you watch, you can switch back and forth. Let's say if I'm watching a movie, a 4K Blu-ray disc, which is in DTS-X format. So I can change it to DTS-X, but most of the movies now are encoded in Dolby Atmos. So I will just leave it at Dolby Atmos and pass the audio to my receiver. So when I pass the audio to my receiver is gonna decode the audio. So I'm not just gonna let the Xbox do it, I'm gonna leave my receiver to do it, and it's gonna do that Dolby Atmos switching for me. So I'm gonna change it to pass audio to the receiver. So now we are all set for the Dolby Atmos. But this option, if you click and then it takes you to the Dolby Atmos app, you have to download that first, and I believe you have to pay $9.99 for that. I can show you how to find that. I've already downloaded it. So it is called Dolby Access app. So right here, the Dolby Access app, make sure you have the Dolby Access app. You can enable Dolby Atmos buying this app for like $9.99. I'm not sure if they're still charging. I have it already purchased, so it shows that as it's like I already own it. So I don't have that option to purchase. But if you happen to have that option that you have to purchase it ultimately, I mean, you gotta do that because Dolby Atmos is just another level. You can do it for the headphones, and like any headphones, you can wear any stereo headphones and it's gonna mimic your sound as Dolby Atmos. That's incredible. And also you can do it for the home theater, of course. Like if you have system, like I have a 5.1.4 system, so I have like 4 Dolby Atmos speakers, so that makes it really worth it if I pay $9.99 for that. I believe I bought one time one headphone which came with the coupon code to redeem on the Xbox store to get the Dolby Access app. So actually I used that, but it is ready. You can set it up for headphones. I haven't plugged my headphones yet, so if I go to the settings, it says that you have to plug the headphones in order to get that Dolby Atmos for headphones. But we are all set for the home theater right here. So guys, if you happen to have the system which is Dolby Atmos enabled, make sure to take that advantage out of the Xbox Series X, because this is like everything in there. So it's a multimedia powerhouse. It has the Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, and make sure that you have the proper display. So Dolby Vision is out there for Sony, LG, Vizio. There are a couple of other brands offering Dolby Vision. Even TCL does it too. So Samsung, I don't know why they're stuck with their own ego. They want to do the HDR 10 Plus, which I don't really find widespread in like 4K Blu-ray discs or streaming, but it is out there. It's their own version of HDR 10 Plus, another layer on the HDR 10. So that's about it, guys, from this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel. It is helping me a lot. I already crossed 6,000 subscribers. I mean, it seems like really small numbers, but huge for me. And all of you guys staying by there, really appreciate your help and your views. So thank you and appreciate that. I'll see you guys in another video. Make sure to go in the comment section and let me know what do you think about this. See you in another one. Until then, peace out.